Guys, we're going live on YouTube right now.
Okay.
Did you just set up your
I see it
YouTube
on my phone.
account with it?
I got the
No, I
notification.
had the settings of YouTube from the workshop in my phone already.
I got the parent alert.
There
We're
you
live.
go.
We're,
So now you can,
everybody's fixing their stuff now.
yeah.
Well, we're on YouTube. They're fix our hat.
But now you can share from the YouTube to Facebook, right?
Yeah, I think my camera is off though, or my camera might be on, but I can't see anybody. So
Oh, I
Your
see what you
camera's on. I
mean.
can see your beautiful smile, Keller.
Yeah, we can see you.
Why don't we share our screen? Can we share our screen with you? You can
yeah,
do
so what I'm
that.
gonna do, because we're live on YouTube, what I'll do is I'll take that and share it to the Facebook page in a couple seconds. Should be no problem. So, but we are going live. So, you, Scott, how's that sound? I'll hide myself somehow.
Okay.
For a moment.
I'll stop playing with the filters then. So am I doing my thing now?
Yeah, you're good to go. I
Okay.
believe.
We are live. 10 seconds for technical delay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Comedy Workshop. I am your special guest, original host, Scott Porteous. I haven't done this in a while, so bear with me. But if anybody has never seen the Comedy Workshop, where the hell have you been? It's a good time. Pretty much what the Comedy Workshop is it's where an idea becomes a joke, becomes a set, becomes a bit, becomes a chunk, becomes a special. I have still forgotten that. We have the comics from all parts of the world, like North America mostly, but hey, that's still part of the world. It's the main one. Not that I'm being biased towards any editor comments. But yeah, we have a lot of North Americans in this panel. We have one USer and the rest Canadians. But that doesn't change anything. We all respect each other the same way. I'm not awkward actually I am this awkward in person as well. So this is also, I call this an open comedy forum, but by that I mean things might be discussed that could be a little controversial, a little edgy, a little taboo. But just keep in mind that we're all ready. We're all trying to figure out the process. We don't mean to offend, but if we do, back in the day, Elvis used to be offensive. So just saying, we could find a comedy Elvis sometime with his pelvic thrust, but with words. Interpret that as you will. But that being said, the comedy workshop involves every comic here gets assigned a topic, and they have like a certain amount of time to write, with given a week or for me a day or an hour because I'm a procrastinator. And then they go around and after we give feedback, suggestions, comments, anything to help add to or improve the joke. We also do our own material, our own dealer's choice, I like to call it, because we pick the material we want to work on and harness. In case the topics we are given are shit. Like one time I wrote about sinks. I'm not going to ever use that for material, but it's an exercise. So with that being said, I will set the bar because I'm a egomaniac. So we'll go. The flow will go here according to my screen. If everybody's okay with it, I'll start the bar, and then we'll do Brenda, Timothy, Jay, and Keller. And yeah, normally I time people, but I think we're good right now. I'm not going to time anybody. Also, I don't remember the material I've written, so if it looks like I'm reading, it's because I am. So here we go. I'm going to go right now. Okay. Hey, moles are interesting. Moles are the creatures that burrow under the ground, not to be confused with groundhogs. Moles are smaller and can't cast shadows. The groundhog community looks down on moles. Sorry, that's not true. They dig deeper. They actually look up at moles, but only with shame and disappointment. Moles are the gingers of the subterranean world. One can't cast shadows, and the other can't cast souls. And it can't be exposed to the sun for long for the risk of growing a mole. Groundhogs even get their own day and are nationally celebrated. Okay, moles can't even make an appearance without people getting grossed out using laser removal on it like they're the worst James Bond villain. Like how does a rodent get its own day and I can't even acquire 100 followers? You know how depressing that is? Like, when will the day happen when a mole becomes so fed up with the Groundhog's Day concept and burrows somewhere in a field, maybe a grassy knoll, under a tall structure like, I don't know, a book suppository, And maybe it set up like a miniaturized sniper rifle and wait while everyone is waiting for the groundhog to make an appearance. And finally he does. And everyone gets excited. And just as I was about to look at his shadow, you hear the sound of a cap and you see its shadow to your back and to the left. 6 more weeks of winter. There's not many JFK jokes about moles. Every use of the word mole has a negative connotation attached to it. No pun intended. Mole, rodent. Mole, cancerous skin blemish. Mole, a deep cover agent who infiltrates an organization. This once again would also be the most accurate way to describe a skin blemish if an organization was your skin. This is a weird joke. It's not a race joke. This is probably my favorite joke. Did you know that moles can dig up to 18 feet in 1 hour? I just settled for 6. That's a death joke. Okay, that's my mole material.
Nice.
I haven't decided if I ever do that again or not. We'll see.
How much of that are you adding to your set?
I might actually add the last joke. I actually really like that one.
That's great, dude.
Or if any animal themed material, I can pull that out maybe. But yeah, thanks.
Cool.
Yeah, I feel like for me the beginning of your set when you talked about like moles and ground, I feel like it really sounded like a nature documentary. I feel like you could do something like maybe do like an act out with that, like maybe act out.
Oh, if I had a British accent, I would.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you could narrate it, like you're narrating the whole thing.
Or pretend to be the mole or the.
Oh, that'd be funny. Yeah, I can totally see that. Like moles take 6 feet, and it like just sound all yeah.
What about moles? Moles that can't see their own moles.
Moles that have moles.
Moles that have moles.
Moles having moles.
What do you guys think about the ginger reference?
I like that. I
That
like
was
the
funny.
can't cast shadows can't cast souls. I love that. Yeah, that's a lot of mole material.
I know. I did a little research. I had struggled. I had to think of a concept like I guess moles and groundhogs, which again I'm trying to think like again like groundhogs are they're more like like the moles and they're pretty much the same thing.
Moles need a name change, like
right?
Yeah,
like critters.
Yeah, call them zits.
Yeah.
I feel like you could bring in like a spy mole in there too somehow. If you could put that in there.
See what you call spy hole. A lot of movies call something else.
Yeah. Well, I guess you could kind of tie it in with that James Bond bit about.
I almost did an act though with a James Bond joke where it's like, so Mr. Mole. Like I was thinking of something. But I could like the dialogue was so bad, I just didn't even bother. I was like, fuck, forget it. It's so tough.
There we go. Huh, that works.
We're just gonna change Keller's name to IT guy.
IT for jokes.
Yeah. For you people watching that, I've had some technical difficulties, I guess, and tried to share it to Facebook through. I use my iPhone. Normally use a laptop, and today it's fighting me like a son of a bitch. But here I am. So
Keller's a mole in this group.
I think Keller's the mole.
If only we had a laser.
Is that B9?
Yeah, this is called a beauty mark. Actually, it's I've been told that my whole life. I haven't got much beauty out of it, but it's something I always talk about. I don't know why it's called a beauty mark, a big mole on your face, but
right?
It's more like a beast mark than a beauty mark.
Yeah. Here's a fun story.
That's funny.
So this mole here, like you can kind of see it a little bit there, but what happened, I got hit with a rock. It used to be bigger, and I was playing baseball and someone threw a rock at me and it scabbed over, and it's much smaller than it used to be.
Have you tried hitting it with a rock again?
Yeah.
Just also, hit it with a brick house. Just hit it with a brick house.
Yeah. Have you ran into a wall recently? Just get rid of it.
Keller, are you getting moles mixed up with scars? I know when I get something. I got lots of those. I don't get a mole from it.
Yeah, I was a rambunctious kid. So I got lots of scars. But yeah. Oh well. Let me get my pen out. I got to write something down, I guess.
I mean, it's up to you. You're the host originally.
I guess I can go to my book. I left my book in my car, so I could go do that. So
It's all good. Does anybody else have any feedback before we continue on?
That was all I had.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't, not that I can think of right now. No, Scott.
Okay, no worries. With that being said, let's get the show on the road. The next comic we have coming up. Here's the thing: I don't know any of your topics, and I kind of like it that way. Not that I'm being rude. I like the mystique, and I like to be surprised, unless it's at a clinic. So our next comic coming up. I've never met, but I'm going to enjoy watching her and listening to her jokes from Hamilton, I believe, which is a city that I've been to a few months ago, and I had a good time, which is I'm told not supposed to, but I did. So whatever, Hamilton. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Brenda Lenny.
All right. So I was going to write out some jokes and get my focus on, but then I decided to have a little nap. So let's see how this goes. Okay, my word, it was overwhelmed, and I get overwhelmed when people are getting when people are getting in my space. So I invited my best friend to stay with me for COVID. So yeah, to stay. He's like, I don't think he thinks it, but I think he's got OCD like a little bit, because when he makes his tea, there's like 10 steps to it. He's like, he boils the water, and then he gets the teapot ready with hot water in it, and he puts hot water in his cup, and then he puts in, it has to be 3 bags of tea, and then he boils the water, and then he pours it into the cup, into his cup, but there has to be milk in the cup first when he pours it, so that there will be bubbles, because apparently the bubbles are good luck, and that's what his aunt told him when he was a kid. So it's very stressful sharing my teapot with him, but I love him because he does the dishes, and I hate doing the dishes. So I'm loving that he's here, Okay, I'm gonna change topics to being to not ready to I'm not ready to date, like overwhelmed. It would overwhelm me right now if I was dating somebody, because I just came out of a relationship, and I was the one that broke off with my boyfriend. It was really hard, because he's like so sexy and so smart and so apathetic about anything I did. I'd be like, I'm doing stand-up, I'm doing improv, and he'd be like, whatever, and then I'd go neck with the Geek Squad, and no reaction. So we broke up. I've been feeling overwhelmed by COVID, so I'm isolating. I'm isolating now, but so I'm like wearing the same clothes for like days, wearing the same house, wearing the same pajamas for like 9 days, watching TV like crazy, and everything I do, I have to have a snack to go with it. So I'm having a shower, I gotta have a snack, I'm getting in the car, I gotta have a snack, and then I end up at some Mandarin buffet or something like that for the big snack. Let me see. I had I think at this point I'm gonna do one of my jokes that I have. Okay, so I grew up in a well, does anybody here come from a dysfunctional family? I
All
grew up,
comedians.
Well, we're all comedians, so yes.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Go for
Yes,
it.
we did. I my brother, when he was a kid, he was acting out and he lit the living room on fire. And so my parents called the firemen over and they sat my brother in a corner and then they threw lit matches at him because this was like apparently, gonna help him. It was like we didn't have timeouts back then. So this is
This is some
what we
serious.
did.
Holy shit.
And then we were like, hey, wait a minute, man, Dad's an alcoholic. So then we sat Dad in the corner and we threw beer bottles at him. And then we were like, hey, wait a minute, Mom's an enabler. So we sat Mom in the corner and we threw Dad at her. So, but it was good when I got older. I mean, it was good because he'd be like, Dad, Dad, you want a beer? And he'd be like, fuck no. So that was me dad, me pop. Also about my dad, my dad was, it turned out he was gay. Like he came out when he was like 65. I don't know why he waited so long. Like maybe he just wanted to date old guys. And he didn't come out for very long either. He was like right denying it right away. So he was kind of like, I'm here, I'm queer, I'm gonna go back in there. The closet. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So my family's pretty cool actually. When I broke up with my boyfriend, my brothers had to like give me the advice, they had to have a few brews and give me the advice. So they sat me in a corner and they threw advice at me. No, I'm just kidding. No, so they were drinking and then they sat me down and they're like, well, did you give them enough sex? And I was like, yeah, but nice question. Then they were like, well, did you give him enough fellatio? And I was like, nice question again. And then they were like, well, did you give him anal? And I was like, what? And they were like, well, if you give them anal, he said, then they'll never go away. They'll stay with you. So I was at my Christmas party and I'm sitting there looking at my sister-in-laws and I'm like, oh yeah, so you guys aren't so perfect after all. Huh. I'm getting the light, so I'm gonna get off of here, but let me see. Yeah. So I hate being misunderstood. So I do a lot of that, like texting and then thinking someone misunderstood me, so then retexting and then thinking they didn't understand that and then retexting again, which could turn into a text argument, which can turn into space, and that's okay because I really like people not getting into my space. Thank you. Oh God.
All right. Keep that going. For Brenda,
Woo.
good. Yeah, you had a lot of stuff that like I feel like can be added to and touched on and like polished or whatever. So some of the stuff I want to say are like, just riffing jokes. Other things I want to say are just like more so analytical, like joke structure. Like, so just it's all sporadic here, so bear with me. I feel like when you first said what you get overwhelmed when people are getting in my space, right there was an opportunity for a joke. Like this is just an example. You don't have to use this, right? But just like this is the kind of like show that rhythm. So like I'm not like, I'm overwhelmed when people are getting in my space. Like, hey, I'm trying to pee here. You know what I mean? Like just something like that. Like insert joke here. When you're talking about what was it, your roommate or the person you're sharing a teapot with, I feel like I wrote down OCD, this overwhelmed compulsive disorder, because like that sounds like specific things to me that was OCD-ish. Also, the word there's not a joke here, but like the word was overwhelmed, so I put down underwhelmed and whelming. Like you know what I mean? Like what is like what's whelming kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about your boyfriend or the person you were dating, not like giving a shit about like wasn't really was very apathetic, and I feel like we want to like take shots at him. Like he did. I put down like he didn't even react when he was having an orgasm. Like oh, okay, you know what I mean? Like just. That'd be weird to me if see somebody like does not show emotion. Like, are you gonna come? I just did.
Just stops.
Yeah. I guess I'll get you a towel.
Oh God, it's like you were there.
So also when you're talking about isolating, like I didn't write the jokes, I didn't know what to put down, but like I've been wearing the same clothes for like 9 days. I feel like you could just like a joke there, like I've been wearing the same, I don't know, like I'm just
you know what? Not to cut you off, I did have something specific for that.
Please.
Because you say I've been wearing the same PJs for 9 days straight. You could just be like, I take them off at night. Like I only wear them for the day. Like you've been wearing the same PJs 9 days straight, but you don't wear them at night sleeping. I just thought that was something you could put
Yeah.
together. Yeah. Sorry, Scott.
Well, no, don't be sorry, please, because I know what it's like to like, I have an idea, and then when I get with you, you forget it. Because I get it, so no worries. Thanks for speaking up. I feel like I don't want to go because I try not to go for like too gross or too like for my suggestions because I've been getting looks before. But like I feel like we're wearing the same clothes. I feel like there's like a truth joke there. Like maybe you could say something about like I've had like the same stain for like doesn't have to be anything like it could be a food stain, but like just kind of like had a descriptive kind of would help.
Flannel pajamas with a chocolate stain on them.
Yeah, it started like this and then grew into this kind of thing. Like just trying to get a little creative, maybe. I really like the idea of. I didn't say it, but I took it as scared straight, but with matches. Like just.
Yeah.
That's
and then with your dad, like when your dad was like, you offered him a beer, he was like, hell no, I put down Pabst TSD. That's
I didn't hear you. What did you say, Scott? Sorry.
Oh, when talking about your dad who's like scared of drinking beer, I put down that he's got Pabst TSD. And then I feel like there's such a great opportunity. Talking about your dad when he came out of the closet. There's an opportunity for a callback there about throwing stuff at him. Because he's in the corner or whatever. I feel like there's something, I don't know what the joke is specifically, but I think there's something there to call back to.
I feel like you call back to like older men. You throw older men at him or something.
Yeah. Like civilized older men, or like you throw, I don't know, Viagra at him or something. Like something.
You throw closets at him or something.
Yeah.
But something to like just call back to that.
Yeah.
I think you should throw confetti at him.
There you go.
Like ripped orange.
If I'm being honest, my favorite, like, it was a really good set, but my favorite thing was the stuff that you were talking about, like when you're younger, like how like, your dysfunctional family. Because I just imagined it, like I reacted to those harsh. It's like throwing beer bottles and that, like that's, to me, it's not funny. Like it's funny, but like it's also like I can see that happening. So like, and I just never heard of that before. So that's what I really enjoyed more so about your set, was just that element of truth. But yeah, that's all I got written, and good stuff.
Okay, thanks, Scott. I was so nervous talking. Oh my God. You know what I didn't do is I had like my topic overwhelm, and then I had 5 like subtopics to that, and then I'm supposed. So I skipped the step of doing micro topics off of the subtopics.
You could even just say all of these topics and micro. That's very overwhelming already.
Yeah, I feel like
like the whole thing is overwhelming. Well, I wanted to say, overwhelming is such we all know overwhelming, and that's definitely one of them.
It's a broad.
Just writing for this was overwhelming for everyone, I think.
Yeah, it's a broad topic too, so it's definitely
right.
Yeah.
I know. I'm
Wrong.
already over.
Keller?
Yeah.
Response, feedback. I'll stop interrupting. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, I was messing with. I did listen to the set and everything else. One thing, I wrote down a couple things. Same thing I wrote down about the pajamas for 9 days straight. It just made me laugh because I just went through 7 days straight of buying Starbucks coffee, and I got an extra 65 points just for doing that. So it's like, I know it's pointless, but just remind me of it. It's goofy to me. I don't know if there's
It's
some
not
way.
pointless. If you
Yeah,
got points.
yeah, not pointless, but yeah,
I just
but I
wanted
mean,
to-
there's something.
I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly. There's
And,
things to do there. I think there's more to do on that one. I like the kind of premise of it, so I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, the 65-year-old father that came out, came out of the wardrobe. I guess I would say. I was trying to think of something good for a tag, like instead of coming out of the closet or something like that.
Right,
But
right.
yeah.
An old school word for the closet. That's the best.
Armoire. I don't know. I'll look one up right now.
yeah, I was trying to look on it. Wardrobe, cupboard, locker. I didn't go into it too deep.
China
but
cabinet.
Yeah, China cabinet. Yeah. There's something there for it. I just think it's funny. But yeah, cloak.
that is-
maybe.
that is-
Oh, there it is. Armoire. Came out of the
Armoire.
Yeah,
armoire.
armoire.
Oh, armoire. It's an armoire.
There you go.
You just came out of the.
Yeah,
Is the like closet, is that old school? Like no one would know what that is now?
Oh,
Like
people know what
coming out of the
closets are.
closet? Like that, people still say that, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought it'd be funny to make it sound older for some reason. Just
Yeah, no, I think it's funny.
Armoire, yes. Yeah, coming out of the armoire.
I feel like you could use a little more. I like your T-bit. I feel like you use a little more exaggeration. Like I feel like because you break down his steps. I feel like you'd like add like maybe he has to go up on a mountain to spring to get the water. I feel like it'd be funnier if like you took it a little bit outside
The
of just, like,
exaggeration of it.
yeah, and also maybe like call back in the like the beer bottle bit about throwing like maybe make that like a more global like
Yeah,
I'd say maybe like a tag where you were like
I'd
I
like
don't
to
know,
put my roommate in
Throwing-
a corner and throw kettles at him or something.
yeah or
Yeah.
something like that.
Or throw tea bags at. I'd like to tea
Yeah.
bags my roommate.
throwing tea bags at.
Mhm. I was almost thinking like some kind of like real life villain where you try to get them to stop stuff and like I don't know like Trump like you throw voter suppression at him or something like a Republican.
Or make it positive. Like you throw respect at them.
Oh yeah that's true.
Well, we can't make it positive when it's Trump.
Yeah. And I
I
feel like
never
you could even tie that bit back into like your boyfriend, like you throw something at your boyfriend to get him to be like so not so apathetic.
throwing my underwear at him.
Yeah.
But he would have no reaction at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. No reaction.
Out my eye. Just-
I'll pick that up. I'll pick that up.
It was supposed to be like when I did the three things, it was supposed to be like my boyfriend, he's like, and so like he was so sexy, so smart, and so apathetic. Like anything I did, he just didn't care. Stand up, improv, connecting with the Geek Squad. Like, but that's not funny. So
There's some better tags there. There's a ton of tags you could throw there instead
Mhm.
or add to it. That's got so like okay, oh my god. I'm almost like overwhelmed with tags coming in.
I mean, if I can interject to that one, like just another joke to put in, like, I even did stand up. I did stand up for him at his mom's funeral, and he wasn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He had no yeah, his family.
There's always an opportunity for a joke to be like a tag to be thrown in. Like as I said, like every just a misdirect, right?
Yeah.
there's I was trying to use terms, like list of three, and like the first two things are small, third thing's big.
It's not so much big. So sometimes it's just more so a misdirect. If you're doing the joke rule 3, it's like you look over here and then like it's over there kind of thing.
Yeah, because you have stand up. You have what was your other example?
The terms they're called list of three.
Yeah. Well, what was your list of three? It was stand up. He had no reaction when I did.
Stand up, no reaction. Improv, nothing.
Improv. Okay, improv. Now your third one needs to be something out of left field kind of thing if you want to do the misdirecting. Like, so stand up and improv are kind of close together, and
Burlesque.
Yeah.
Burlesque.
Yeah.
Or maybe
script
murder.
one.
You murdered somebody.
Yeah.
You had no
Murder's
reaction.
good.
Yeah. There's something. Yeah, like something
Improv.
needs to go really large.
Or getting hit by a car.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what about like when you had you had a kid, like you could just exaggerate and say you had a baby. Like,
Had a
had our
baby.
son. Yeah.
How about stand up, improv, and manslaughter?
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those three are
rolls off
very
the tongue.
similar.
Yeah.
I mean, manslaughter has the word laughter in it, so it ties.
Sorry,
in.
it's 2022. Person slaughter.
Oh yeah.
Man's laughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is really cool feedback. Thank you.
Yeah.
You could also, I don't know, like I know you're using the three thing, but I
Yeah.
think that also is you're putting a limit on, like,
Yeah.
in a sense, like I don't know if that's just something you always do and that's how you do it. I'm just saying I find things like that are great in that, but if you're sticking to that and still putting it in your head constantly, you're not giving chance maybe to even more and more tag. Like, I don't know, like my thought on it.
I have like a real quick joke that I do where I say I'm at a bar and this really drunk guy comes up to me right at last call, which is, flattering. He's like, "You want to dance?" And I'm like, "No, could you get out of my stall?"
There you
Also,
go. Yeah, that's a
there's
great
something
misdirect.
there's
Like
something
that.
there too about he only talking to you at last call, so he doesn't have to buy you drinks all night. Things like that, like boom, can I get you your last drink and that's it, like boom, and then it's so something there too. But the
Yeah.
stall thing is funny too.
And maybe it's a really cheap drink, like he just wants to
Right.
spend. Yeah.
Right.
Like
Can I
it's
get
I
you
don't
a
know.
water?
You should just
Yeah.
be like, you want to share a shot, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want half a
Want
shot?
to share a shot of vodka?
Want to share the shot? Oh my God, it's funny.
Awesome. It's a lot of great feedback. Good job, Brenda, and thanks everybody for the suggestions.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's get this train. I'm trying to think of. I want to keep on saying the same thing. Like, do this ball rolling. Let's get this train chugging. I want to say something different for every person just because I am. I would be
I like the effort. No, that's great.
Yeah, no, the creativity means like, no, I'm not saying the same thing. Let's get this train chugging, everybody.
There's this one guy who does comedy here. He hosts a lot. Everybody brings up this next comic. I love him to death, and it's just a constant thing. And I rip him about it on stage. So it's just.
I think the only time you should do that is when you're hosting a comedy contest. They want to give a fair. Then
Yes.
like this comic is really
There's
funny.
another comic who does he used to do those at the casinos, and every time he'd say, "This next comic, oh shit, what was it?" Or like, "Oh, I think they could take this whole thing," and that was it. Like, for the contest. Yeah.
My favorite line is, "This next comic has performed at bars," and it just goes.
This next comic is here tonight.
Okay, anyways, the next comic, ladies and gentlemen, is from the U.S. He is from a state where they have an amazing steakhouse, Montana, and they have a good comedy scene too, from what I hear. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the Timothy Miller.
Yep.
Yeah.
We also have a Hamilton in Montana too. It's probably not as good as Hamilton, Ontario, though. Just kind of. Is anyone here a voter? Anybody? Yeah, I kind of vote on occasion, but I feel like dating should work almost like an election. I feel like you should like get two choices, and like you and your family and friends get to vote on who you date. Like you get two. I feel like if that would have happened, my brother probably wouldn't be with who he is now. I don't think I would have voted for. Yeah, I think honestly the worst thing that happened to me during the pandemic was my brother getting a girlfriend. Actually, well, maybe second worst, because I think my dad did have a heart attack during the pandemic, which kind of made me afterwards. Made me think about my mortality and make healthier choices. So I like that. The next morning, I woke up and had yogurt and fruit and did like room temperature yoga. But they only lasted for a couple hours because like by lunch, I had lunch at Taco Bell and then I went to the strip clubs. So that's actually all I had for that prompt. So
Oh,
thank you.
Yeah.
okay. Short and sweet, just like my sex life. Okay, Timothy.
Oh, it's sweet. That's good to know, Scott.
I know it's sweet. I drink a lot of pineapple juice.
That's what I
so
focus on.
So your topic was voting or dating?
Voter.
A voter. Okay.
Yeah.
I really like the premise of like dating for voting. Like they should have a voting. I feel like you can go so much into that. Like I don't know like all the US voting parties, but I feel like you can kind of like play on words like Republican. I put down or Democrank or whatever. Like just some. But like I feel like because you can go on was it you can have smear campaigns. You can do like recount. Like I feel like there's like if you want to talk about dating and voting, I think you should like totally like double down and just like make all the like comparisons, like write a list of like anything you can think of relate to voting and the dating and kind of correlate them because I feel like there's a lot there.
Oh, what about what? Oh, James.
No worries, I can't think of anything more, but yeah, sorry, everybody has the floor is yours.
Oh, how about pap smear events? When you said you wanted to make healthier choices, I think if you went right to Taco Bell, strip bar, and video games kind of thing, like just skip over the yogurt and fruit if you want to edit it. But yeah, that's all I have.
Oh, also before the next person, if you're making a taco joke and a stripper joke, I mean, come on.
They write themselves there.
It's right there, Timothy.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Yeah.
Jay and Keller, do you have any feedback for
Great. At the beginning, when you're like, anybody a voter here? I thought you said boater. So that's why I'm like the only one that didn't raise my hand. And I'm like, oh, everybody has a fucking boat in this goddamn podcast? The fuck is that? Like, Keller signed me up for some rich and famous fucking comedy club that we guys all have boats and shit.
Sure, my nautical outfit.
I felt really bad. I was everybody raised their hands. I'm like, and then I realized you said voter. I'm like, oh, now they think I don't vote. Oh, now I'm down on because I was the only guy who didn't raise. So that's how my start off in this set started. Sorry if I didn't write too much down to everything. I was too worried about my own self.
Part of the yacht party over here.
Yeah. But just the big piggyback on Scott, I love that he's exactly right. Between elections, erections, the things that you could go together with voting and dating. As soon as you said you think our family should vote on who date, I immediately wanted to go, no, that's a horrible idea. But you throw tags on that and examples of why it's so horrible, like your family picking it out. But your example was great too, just that the worst thing to happen to you. So yeah, I just thought it was great. I just thought that it is a great topic to compare dating and voting. So just thought that was good too.
Yeah, I actually had the same kind of thoughts. Again, I'm just trying to run this thing on the background and screwing up and charging phones, so I keep missing some of the stuff. But what I did hear was your voting date, your voter dating sort of thing, and I thought you were talking about like sites that would you to I guess be aligned with in voting, and I just thought of Christian Mingle or something like that because typically it'd be all like right wing or something like that or similar things. But one thing I did go back on Jay too is that when you said, is everybody a voter here? It doesn't make sense to us Canadians, but being American and living down there time, you actually can't vote if you get like a criminal. So not everybody's a voter. So when you say, is everybody a voter? He actually had a point about that down the States because not a voter, because we're all allowed to vote still, even if we, murder here. So it's just one of those things in Canada. But yeah,
even if you are a vote, and if you're a voter, you can vote too.
That is true. Yeah. I wish I had more for you, Tim, but it was pretty good. I apologize for not writing up.
I just thought of something too. It's like there are two words to follow the word registered. They can't tell which one's worse.
Make sure you keep reading. Don't just stop at that first word. When you're on that thing, say that's funny.
One of them you go door to. Actually, both of you go door to door to tell people.
And you both get about the same reaction too.
Yeah.
I'm
not interested.
I'm just picturing the idea of a smear campaign for your exes. I just like, Becky would like to tell you that she did this, but is she? And it's just like in previous relationships, Becky was known to fuck other men. Is that the kind of person you want to date? Like, like there's so many. Oh, it's a fun concept, man.
Yeah,
it's a funny concept. I'm excited just to think about
is.
it. Good stuff, everybody. Let's continue the. Speaking on the theme of the nautical, let's get this cruising. Get this DSS comedy workshop into full speed ahead.
Full steam ahead.
Full steam ahead with the next comedian coming up, all the way from Vancouver, but not really. I mean, he's not from Vancouver, but we're all the same spot right now on the interweb. Beautiful city. I've been there a handful of times. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the one and the only JR.
All right. Thank you, everybody. So my word is forecast. Just so you guys know, and tonight's forecast is this set will not be funny. So just a little heads up. I imagine Vancouver is not a hot spot for like meteorologists. Like how hard can it be to just stand in front of a green screen and scream, it's raining. Like it's just raining. It's gonna rain. You just deal with it. There's not much else. Also, I don't need a scientist to forecast my my financial trends either. Just a peek at my account will tell you it's forecasting at broke as fuck. And we'll continue for the foreseeable future on that. And the last one, I wrote three things, but I used to also skateboard as a kid, but that was until I had a really bad accident at the local half pipe, and my mom took away my skateboard and forbid me from skating because I had 1, 2, 3, 4 casts from that fall. That's all I got, guys, on that.
Yeah.
I wrote. Actually, no. I will let someone else go first for the once. I will share the floor. I'm not a pig. Whoever wants to go first.
Yeah, when you talk about those casts at the end, all I could think about the whole time was when you said forecast, I think foreskin cast. I think, I don't know why I had it in my head. I just was picturing a penis totally wrapped all the way down. But I don't know why. I was totally obsessed with it. I think it's because I'm sober this time around compared to normal. I'm usually happy. So it's it was a tough kind of subject, I think.
Yeah.
Forecast, like, did you have like arms and legs?
Yeah, well, that would be the joke, but it's not true. But yeah, it would be a full limb fucking cast kind of.
Oh, I get it now.
I was just trying to work on the word for and cast and separate them. That's all. Just something stupid, but whatever. I was like, how can I make forecast work? And I thought that was the best way to do it. Again, yeah.
Forecast, you can't touch yourself.
I mean, you can, but just with great difficulty.
I'm more worried about scratching an itch. That's my. That would bother me more.
The chafing.
Yeah.
I wrote forecast. This set. This set looks like a 75% chance of not being funny with a 25% chance of being woke.
That's it's so great you use the percentages. That's great.
Come on, these are meteorologists. That's that's all I wrote. I had an idea and I lost it. It'll come back to me.
Yeah, no problem. That was good. Yeah, that's great. Of course.
I feel like you could also maybe tie forecast into like fishing somehow, like you cast a line.
Is there a forecast? Like, I'm not a boater, so I don't know if there's a forecast.
I mean, there's probably, I'm not much of a fisherman, so I don't really know.
Right, I get the cast part, but like, can we still use forecast as the word, or do I have to split it up? Like, you know what I mean?
I feel like
you could say I gave forecast before I caught something, I guess, or something.
Yeah.
Something like
I mean, it's what you get from the word. You don't necessarily use the word. It's not like
I
you
know.
have to
I
use
like
that word.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
that's what you
That's
get
that's
from
just
it.
what I do with it.
Yeah,
Forecast.
I also feel like if there's a word of the day for workshops, it would be boater.
Boater. There you go. Does anybody boat? You should ask that at the beginning of everyone now. You have to find out who the boaters are.
Can we just like have a flashing word called boater? Just-
Yeah.
that's
Who's
the
gonna-
word of the day.
It's my new pronoun, non-boater. My name.
Actually, yeah, just go back on Scott's thing. I think it's actually pretty funny if you had done like a weather report of the forecast of whatever's going on.
You know what? I wish
Maybe-
I had the background too and a screen like
Yeah.
to do something like that. I would have totally set it up, but
Yeah.
that would have been fun.
Next time.
I feel like it's raining you because you went up on the skateboard and then you fell down.
I could, that's a nice tag to add to that. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
my body was raining down on this half pipe
Yeah.
after trying a 45. That's the spin I was going for, not a 900.
Just a 45?
Just a 45.
Yeah. It's
That's
only
how much-
45 today. Yeah.
That's how much my body gets to turn before I get back down.
That's how many tears I shed.
Yeah. That's how many bones I broke. 45.
45. Enough for forecast.
Yeah.
See something like that. I like that.
Forecast normally. What about other things besides like that kind of go with skateboard? Like a list of like skateboarding, surfing, lost a leg and that, whatever.
Yeah, as long as I'm keeping it on forecast, I guess I'm just really focusing on just the word, and then like I could have used surfing, I could have used a few other things. I just thought skateboarding was definitely something I would picture me not doing well.
It was good.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
It was
Appreciate
good. All right, and now before we get to the next chapter of the workshop, ladies and gentlemen, a special treat. The next comic coming up is responsible for the resurgence of the workshop, where I gave birth to it. He actually raised it like a good father would. Ladies and gentlemen, his last name is Reeves, but it's not to be confused with another famous Reeves because he walked to work. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Vancouver, give it up for Keller Reeves.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I can move my shoulders unlike Christopher Reeve. But yeah, it's so funny. I'm just looking at I'm making sure the YouTube thing is working beside it, and it has my Keller Reeves personal meeting room. It even tell me the workshop number. So this is workshop season 2, episode 8. So I just wanted to.
Season 2.
Probably the series finale.
Yeah. So my subject, which I did not give myself, I had to ask somebody to give it to me, was cinema. The word cinema. Okay. And I want to start off the first go. Let's go to the movies. Let's all go to the movies. Let's all go to the movies. This is not a bit. Okay. I just want to sing it. Notes. It started off that way. I like going to the cinema early, like really early, because I like to get the best possible seat, like the right in the middle kind of center aisle seat. And then I like to stare at the front door as everybody walks in all the time, They have to you make eye contact, everybody looks up to you because you got the best seat. And they always look down at you. It's like they're like visiting a mob boss for, like they have to pay tribute. They're just walking they're all disappointed and whatnot. And there's me just sitting there chewing popcorn and feet up on the second best seats because it's in front of me. I got my feet up. I have to slowly get down. Here's a good tip for anybody at home. If you don't want someone sitting in front of you, just show up early and spill your pop down the front of the chair in front of you, and nobody will sit in front of you. Because nobody wants sticky feet. That's the thing. Nobody wants sticky feet. So that's the way it works. I also like to blow in a straw a lot. I was going to have this example ready when I didn't have to come out here, but I like to blow in a straw. I got pretty good at it when you take your drink, you blow across the straw, and I get that really good whistling sound. And I wish I could do it because I don't have a straw. I would show you and demonstrate to you, but it's always fun with me to do that in the middle of the most dramatic part of the movie. And I just stick it in my mouth like I'm taking a drink. And sometimes I look behind me and blame the guy behind me. I'm like, it's this guy over here. And nobody can tell because everybody's so focused on the movie. I like to disturb that shit. That's just what I like to do. The other thing I just kind of took direction with this was I started watching like a YouTube commercials. Like, you know, it's weird. I know it reminds you of it, but like I don't, because that's what I do now. I don't go to the cinema anymore. I can't go. I gotta sit at home and stay away from Omicron people. But it's like, like I watch YouTube, and I just like when I was a kid, I used to watch YouTube commercials. It was because I was like kind of patriotic or something. Like I had to support this. I'll watch them in streaming devices. Now it's basically I just don't want to. I don't want to do another crunch and reach for the remote. Basically, that's what I do. I'm like, I'm all done with that. I just like it's so far out of reach. I'm like, I'll let those commercials go and I'll just enjoy it and just sit there. And I don't know if anybody gets used to that. You're probably watching a commercial right now. I didn't have a lot apart from talking. I was going to tell some stories. I used to go to drive-in a lot as a kid. That was the thing that we always like. Because my parents, we go to the carload nights because my parents. I'm one of 10 kids. I got 9 siblings, and there's a whole bunch of them. So we'd pack into a van and go down to the drive-in. My dad would sneak in half the kids, or we'd go to like carload movie night, and he'd open the sliding door, and we'd all just pour out like 10 of us. Like, not including the parents. It was like 12 of us. We'd watch movies all together, and I got to see some sexually explicit movies at like a young age, like Heavy Metal. You seen that one?
Yeah.
That's something a 7-year-old shouldn't really be witnessing, but that's what I had to do. So it's pretty fun. I really didn't have anything more, guys, but I appreciate it. So thank you. But
Heavy
I got
metal or
words.
sausage party.
Good job.
yeah, thanks.
I'll wait for everybody else. I'll bite my tongue.
Oh man, that Heavy Metal movie. I guess at 7, yeah, that would be very, very traumatizing.
Yeah.
10 kids, holy cow. You ever get lonely?
No, I was talking about this the other day that I've said it for a couple of. I've never lived on my own. I'm 46. I've never been in a house by myself. I've never had that opportunity. I've always been with somebody around me. It's weird. So
when you say you're all coming out of the van, you could compare it to like a school bus, or it's like a school bus at the fucking drive-in. Like,
yeah. I used to remember my brother running up halfway through a movie or partly with a movie, jump the fence. He'd run around and the back of the fence, jump over the fence, and get my older brother. It was always pretty funny. It was like a game to him, but yeah, we could run wild.
9 siblings.
Yeah.
Also, I would never take you to a movie. Holy crap, you must be the worst.
Yeah.
Shit disturber.
Oh, man. I have more written in my phone I couldn't write down on my piece of paper because I'm using my phone to do this. So, but it's like, I'm a shit disturber when it comes to movies. I love doing it. It's so much fun. Just sitting there and just causing issues. I don't know. It's just a slight things that people are just going to hate you for it and talk about you later.
Yeah.
I'll never see them again. Okay.
Yeah. Kick the seat in front of you. Start tossing popcorn around the theater.
You could compare it to like an airplane. Like if you're the first on an airplane and you watch everybody else walk in and stuff, and you're just judging them as they walk by or something. Yeah. You were just waiting for that one to come and sit beside you. You're like, are you the one? Are you the one? Yeah.
Yeah. It's always the worst when that one person sits beside you. I'm like, because I go to movies by myself I used to go back in the day. So only time I got alone actually, but I'd sit there and just cause issues. Yeah, I don't know. It's funny.
Maybe you would go to movies by yourself because your dates got sick of your antics.
Yeah.
All you did was hang out with 9 other kids all day. Like you needed to go to the movies by yourself.
But even now, I still do that same sort of stuff. So it's it just never gets old for me.
So I don't know. I'm hyper. I love this idea of like a cinema hierarchy of fucking seats. Like there's got like the status symbol. I didn't write anything more than that for the hierarchy part, but I just wrote down. I'm just picturing you with like the most dramatic scene with a slide whistle. Like your mother died. I just love the idea of you doing sound effects for movies that nobody's asking for, like sound effects provided by Keller Reeves. I wrote down Omnicron sounds like the name of the production company. Because it totally does. If you watch it like a movie and like,
yeah, like the Barricon back in the day, or
yeah,
whatever.
that's
Like,
Omnicron.
yeah,
Or something that competed with like VHS, the Omnicron tape.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
I also, when you said your dad the driving, I was like, how I love how your dad sneaks in a sneaks in a drive-through or sneaks in a driving movie like he's going through customs. Fucking 10 people.
It was funny. That did happen too. My dad would sneak us. We'd all go over the border that way also, but never sneaking in. But it was always that way. Huge. We got one of those big vans with no seats in the back, so we just sit in the back and just roll around and
Just kids bouncing around.
It's like, yeah, it was just the way it was back then.
I just love that if you mean I shit the server for movies. Like, I can, like, you know, I had this joke a long time ago, but like it'd be fun to like wear a cape and like hide in every movie theater, and then like have a big S on your shirt, and then when the movie starts, you're like, "This happens at the ending." Like, you know, the spoiler. It's just you just have a megaphone and you're just spoiling the movie, and then you just run out.
Oh god.
Spoiler man, that's what you call yourself.
The spoiler. Also, I put down like,
Oh, yeah.
I like to ruin cinematic films. Like, is that what you call OnlyFans?
What about stuff that you still do now that you did when you were young and you're always with 9 siblings? And
Yeah.
so now you like to go to movies by yourself.
Yeah, well, my wife won't go with me, so that's. But yeah, no. When you said the sliding, what is it called? The what was the name for that sliding thing you said, Scott? That's what I can do with the straw, though. I can make it go up and down with tones because I can able to move it in and out. You get the right amount of liquid inside the.
Man, you must have a talented tongue. Jeez.
Yeah, I wonder why she doesn't like going to the movies with you.
Oh,
Yeah.
We make movies. What are you talking about?
And he still does the same thing in those.
Yeah.
Spoils them too.
Just
He
a
does a
slide
slide whistle
whistle
shit.
every time.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, and there's someone still in the corner hiding with a cape and an S on their chest. I'm here to spoil this. You will be disappointed.
She's faking it. Spoiled.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the scene. It's the cock block man. Cock block.
Cock block.
Cock block, man.
Cock block, man. That's funny. Cock block, man is funny.
The spoiler and cock block, man.
Yeah.
That's a sketch I want to see now.
The ending will be depressing and disappointing.
Yeah.
This thing of a cock knocker from James.
Cock knocker from James.
Cock block, man. I gotta.
Cock block man is good.
That's a great. That's more of a villain than as a hero, though.
Oh fuck yes,
Yeah.
he's a villain. Like, oh, just
That's a porn. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Orgasmo, but
it's
cock
like
block, man.
Yeah.
Sounds like the cheesiest porn.
Yeah.
But wasn't that the villain in Orgasmo, cock block man? I don't know. I've
I
never
don't-
seen it.
I don't understand Orgasmo. I just seen like clips of it from like countdowns.
I would, yeah, I can't remember, but no, it's possible. Cockblock man is too good of a name that has.
Yeah, I like cock block. Good stuff. So Boater and cock block, man, are the words that.
Oh, there.
You could do like a act out with Clockwork Man. You know,
I feel like
show
we're
them how-
creating like a workshop cinematic universe right now.
Yeah, the Omniverse.
Yeah.
The Omicron verse.
That's great.
Oh.
Depressing, but great. All right. Great job, Keller. And good job with the feedback, everybody. We are going to what I call the dealer's choice round, where we pick the topics we actually wanted to do. So with that being said, I actually, where is it? So I sort of submitted for a festival, and it was related to content. I'm gonna do the whole because it's like an 8-minute bit, but I'll do like a good chunk of it. I'll time myself too so I don't go overboard. So the topic is sex stuff, more or less. Once again, I'm gonna read because my memory's not what it used to be. Also, I don't study. I haven't recorded comedy in front of a crowd for a while. Bear with me. So here we go. Okay. Thank you. Let's talk about sex. I mean, in general, that wasn't an invite unless you're totally into it. Then let's talk about expectations and units of measurement. I like to start at 1 when I measure. It gives me that extra centimeter. Especially in the US, it's bigger. The conversion joke. I'll be honest. I'm not on my best right now. I've been experiencing some withdrawal. Like, I haven't been exposed to pornography for at least 3 hours. That's a while for me. That's like 4 months American. Like, that's a whole season to an addict, or pretty much anyone. You don't understand. Like, I grew up watching porn. It was like Saturday morning cartoons to me, or as the Japanese call it, hentai. Tomo arigato. I'm very cultured. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the artistic integrity of hentai, congrats on still having your innocence remain intact. But if you'd like to know what hentai is, just picture really sexy and really naked ninjas fighting the sexiest parts of an octopus. Just let your imagination go wild. But now, before you judge my parents too harshly, just know they had no idea what I was being exposed to. Like, my father owned a satellite dish because it was far cheaper than hiring a babysitter. I mean, financially, he wasn't wrong, just morally. So because of this act of negligent parenting, I was exposed to a plethora of things that would compromise my innocence. Like, I still remember the first time I was exposed to sex, like the live action kind. Before I say more, I want everyone here watching to think of when the first time they ever exposed to sex was. And before you go too far back, I don't mean walking in on your parents, unless you're holding the camera, or tape recorder if you grew up poor. Just me then. Okay. But I'll always remember the first time I was exposed to sex. It was Vivid. That was the name of the network. And there were 2 really attractive lesbian construction workers, which is such a stereotype because not all lesbians are attractive. Like, ugly doesn't discriminate. I should know, right? But even as a kid, I knew they were both playing the role of construction workers because they were both wearing orange vests, yellow hard hats, and steel camel toes. And shortly after they were done eating, interpret that as you will, 5 men walked in who I assumed were union members because they kept referring to each other as brother. However, before I was able to see the climax of this cinematic masterpiece, my dad walked in horrified and immediately changed the channel back to Teenage Mutant Ninja Tentacles. And that's when my problem started. I wish I was able to tell you a cooler origin story, like I was bitten by a radioactive nympho, and that's why my dad stopped hiring babysitters. But no, just an extensive amount of but not being supervised. Okay. Also, by the way, this was way before things like TV ratings, child locks, or magazines on good parenting. So bear with me, right? But it worked my views of sex and relationships in the most surreal perspective. Like, I know that porn isn't real. Like, I know there's a lot more involved than what you see. I know there's editing, makeup, lighting, probably a splash guard. Like, I know these things. I know that it's totally unrealistic and fake. All right. My penis, though, well, it believes in pornography in the same way that my dad still believes pro wrestling is real. Okay. Like, it's to my core, I'm a fairly insecure person. I won't even make eye contact with someone out of fear of rejection, whether it be by them turning their heads or closing the blinds. Okay. Like, I'm genuinely grateful to any woman that deems me attractive. My penis, however, nothing but 9s and 10s for this one. Like, we are completely opposite of one another. Oh shit, I opened the wrong thing. Hang on. I want to pause this. This is an intermission set now. Hang on. God damn it. I was going so well. Here we go. Fucking words. Okay. We're good. Hang on. I've written this set like so many times. I edited like shitload of time. I didn't want to, and I was reading the older part of it. So there we go. It's fine. Here we go. So like closing the blinds. Like, I'm generally grateful when they win. My penis, however, doesn't even bat an eye unless it's for a 7, 8, 9, or 10. So that has definitely made dating challenging for me, right? As it screens all my potential partners, like, hello, I understand you're looking to date Scott. Just need to ask you a few questions before I'm able to select the final candidate for Scott. Can you tell me a little about yourself using only measurements? Who do you see yourself in 5 years from now? Tell me about your last position. Or are you able to work alone, or do you prefer a team environment? Just it's a very shallow penis, is what I'm trying to say. So it's definitely made dating that much more difficult. Like, I'm just saying, the only game I have is single player. Okay, I'm just saying I'm only 2 people shy of a threesome. I'm just saying I can count all my past partners on one palm. Okay, I'm just saying I've been single for so long that my penis and I are considered common law. Okay, I'm just saying the closest thing I have to a love life is naming my pillows. Good night, tear stains. Good night, other stains. Right. Another potential obstacle is my anxiety pills, or as I like to call them, chill pills, because they numb my emotions. For anyone who's unfamiliar with what having anxiety is like, just picture like having a song stuck in your head, and every time you get to the chorus, you might die. But the other side effect of anxiety is that I struggle with maintaining an erection, which honestly could be worse. See, I only call them a potential obstacle because what I lack in sex drive, I gain in legitimate excuse. Like, before it was the sensitivity that caused me problems. Now I can blame it on the medication, right? Like, sorry, honey, I can only have sex if you wear this Mandalorian costume. Here's my doctor's note and $100. Like, I don't know. What a time to be alive. Like, in my 20s, I had a far healthier sex drive. Even with all the perp pollution, I had to constantly wear oversized hoodies and fanny packs. Those were the days. But now in my late 30s, I hardly even get erections. And when I do, I just use them as a stand for my phone or tablet. That's how I do Kegels. Like, my erections appear as often as a deadbeat dad after the divorce has been finalized. Hey, penis, when do you think we'll be a family again? I don't know, champ. Probably when the local sports team wins the Super Bowl. I don't watch sports ball. I'm almost done. Like, now I have access to Viagra. Like, I have a prescription. I never use it though because I can't afford it, which to me is the underlying definition of cock tease, right? Like, I have to settle with Sildenafil, which is essentially the President's Choice Viagra. Like, if I were to compare the two designer bags, Viagra would be Louis Vuitton, and the medication I use would be a pillowcase. Now, they're both completely different, but they both do similar things, like contain hard candy and lure me to bed. Like, I'm taking these pills and it's not ideal. Like, I'm not even 40 and I'm already middle-aged. Like, does it still count as mall walking if you're just window shopping? Like, one of the major drawbacks of taking those pills is that you're supposed to take them an hour before you conduct any sexual activity, which is all fine and dandy, but how do you even bring that up on a first date? Like, hey, don't take this the wrong way, but how good would you like the rest of the night to be on a scale of 1 to 6 inches? That's my set. I apologize for the hiccup in the middle. I totally realized I was reading my re-edited one.
The good thing is you're calm on the date.
What's that?
Yeah. The good thing is you're calm.
Oh, depression helps. It centers me.
I had a couple tags through there, Scott, right away. You said you grew up watching porn, and the right away said not forcibly. I think you need to
like Clockwork Orange style.
Yeah. Tied down on a chair to watch porn, but they also, you talked about a camera, somebody, your parents hold that camera for your parents, something like that. Or
like walking on your, like, for something else exposed to sex, walking on your parents' account unless you're holding the camera.
Yeah, or pour if you're a tape recorder, you said, right?
Yeah, unless you record, like, unless you have a tape recorder because you're poor or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you should add, in my case, a dull pencil and a sketchbook.
Oh, that's just too graphic.
It's more like desperate almost. It just was funny to me, right?
Stay still, Mom. Make a flip book.
Yeah, hold this apple, Dad, please. It's like, whatever. Yeah, I wrote down some more stuff, but it was just it's not very funny, so I'll leave it that way.
Thank you.
Even when you mention the tape, like or a tape recorder, it is. You could even just say for your audio only porn, like like you're into. And people
yeah.
that radio porn, or something.
Like War of the Worlds, like Horse
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Rails.
it's just
For,
someone
for your
narrating.
your Comcast.
Oh god. I think what supposed to I was trying to I was talking about sexual nature, but I was trying to keep it clean.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Comcast is good.
Yeah, that was you spewed a lot of jokes there. That was good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's my OCD-ishness. Like, I don't want to sound
Just keep
robotic. That's the
going.
only thing.
Yeah.
I feel like you mentioned like I guess measurements like US versus metric or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like it just brought up the idea of like it being like an inchworm or like a centipede, kind of like length or something.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's good. That's
Oh,
good.
that's funny. If I was in front of an entomologist, oh man, that would do so
Yeah.
well. I got so many butterfly jokes. I like that inchworm centipede.
Yeah. Or in my case, a gummy worm. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
You could
Yeah.
you could go with millipede. Millipede could be.
Yeah,
Like it's a
millipede.
tapeworm. All right. That's,
Yeah. Well, that
Mine's a butterfly. It's hard to explain.
so I was like, I have a tapeworm because it's a pervert. That's so fucking dumb. A weird visual of a room with a camera. Anybody else? Let's be back, or should we go to the next?
I thought it was great, man. Yeah.
That was great.
Thanks. I only read half the part that I've edited. The first part wasn't edited. I'm like, oh fuck, I pressed the wrong part. But yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it. It was a little longer than I was hoping to go, but I'm a hypocrite. With that being said, everybody, let's get this comedy moped on the way with 20 minutes of not material, but like you gotta, I don't know. Hang on, I want to. I'm not. Let's get this train wreck of an introduction out of the way. As Brenda Lenny will crash some jokes into the universe of internet with some material that of her choosing, and hopefully I can salvage the introductions after her. So, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Hamilton, back is Brenda Lenny.
Hey guys. Hey. So I just want to know, anybody here like in a relationship?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I got a question for you. Do you like the bathroom door closed or open?
I never had it.
Never thought about it. Well, I want the door closed because I don't want to see pee coming out of the thing that I'm going to put my mouth on. So, and I don't want to see him make the poo face, because what if it's the same as his orgasm face? Like we'd be going at it, and then all of a sudden he makes the face, and it's like, oh my God, he's going to shit the bed. It's like, oh, that was a lot. My boyfriend, before we broke up, when we were sleeping, he would start talking in his sleep, and then he would start answering, and then he would start laughing in his sleep, and then he would start moaning. And when he started moaning, that was it. Like, I woke him up, because he's not going to have like a threesome without me. So, okay, so back to you, Spot. Yeah.
Good stuff. I thought I had a misdirect joke for you, Brenda. You're
Okay.
talking about the bathroom door open, closed or open. And I put down like, so when you have sex, do you like the door closed or open? Because I don't like looking at them. You know what I mean? I feel like there's a
Yeah.
like you can be in separate rooms. Like there's like a glory hole joke there.
Oh yeah.
6 feet apart. That's all. That's all I got.
I like to add something about having glory holes in your own home. There's something you
Sanitary,
can build
bro.
off that. Yeah, it's such a funny premise. Like we
I was
don't
working
like
out-
we don't like looking at each other so much. We put glory holes in our own home. Like
I was working on a joke a while ago. By all means, take it if you can think of something with it. But like how a contractor must feel when when hired to insert a glory hole.
Yeah.
He needs to know the measurements for the blueprint.
Yeah.
And
I need
Yeah.
to know the schematics of your penis.
I feel like that's like you bring in a tailor to like help with
Yeah.
the measurements.
The female
Glory hole
contractor,
renovations.
Yeah.
centipede or inch.
you exaggerate quite a bit.
This is open space glory hole.
Yeah.
Contractor's choice to where to put the hole, like how high it is. They're like different heights, right? I mean, like, not just.
Yeah.
I
This
don't
is a
want
low bearing wall.
That's a load bearing.
I feel like you could work your like apathetic boyfriend material into this bit, maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
Like maybe he has like an
That's so
apathetic
funny.
like orgasm face. Like he doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if you guys ever watched like those kind of videos, but from my experience of watching it, when they're about to climax, they knock on the door. They would knock on the fucking wall. So maybe it's a joke you can do with.
Yeah.
That's how an apathetic person comes, just knocks on the wall.
Instead, you got a doorbell instead. Like,
It's a slide whistle sound. It's a slide whistle.
it's just Keller in the corner playing with a straw.
There's like that's the only button your boyfriend can push well.
God. Yeah.
Or he knows how to push or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just adds to his ding dong. Like,
Yeah. I like that.
I'm picturing like one of those like old school knocks. Those things that you have. Like the stuff you see in the fucking the Scrooge movies, like the whole fucking door knock.
like a castle door.
Yeah.
A door knocker would be awesome on someone's house.
Their glory hole though.
I love the load bearing wall.
That is the funniest fucking thing.
It's pretty fun.
I'm still laughing about that from the first time.
I get lucky sometimes.
Oh,
I wrote down for you, Brenda, too, is we talked about the you don't want to see his O face when you shut the door sort of thing, right? It's like he is an oh no, I just shit the bed face. I mean, rather than saying that, like I don't know, some way that way. I just thought it was kind of a funny kind of pun. Anyways, or pun and stretch, I guess you call it. But yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
It's funny.
that's good.
That
Thanks.
load bearing wall is gold. All of us are wishing that was our joke now. All of a sudden,
yeah, 100%.
Oh, everyone was like, "Ah, I wish I had."
Do you think there's anything in the when he's sleeping, he talks and then he laughs and then he moans? Like, is there
Like
anything
he's
in there?
more he's more I like that he's more emotional when he's unconscious.
Yeah,
That's good.
I like the idea of you drugging him, not to have sex with him, but just to like be like connect with him.
to get a reaction out of them.
Yeah.
Dressing in anime costumes.
Tell me about your experience right now.
Yeah. Maybe he sleep uses the glory hole, like in his sleep.
I just like the idea of you drugging him but not having sex with him. Like
Yeah.
Just to have a good relationship with
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Weekend at Bernie's, but he's not dead.
It's like a
It is
3-day
funny
week.
how-
Experience.
It is a funny concept having a glory hole at your own house. It's kind of goofy, right?
Dude, that concept, because already you're thinking what kind of family members or
Have you guys ever heard of
that
Pet
route?
Life? It's a thing.
Or like it's your husband, like you know what I mean, like it's more of just or something. Yeah.
I just started picturing him he's gotten so used to the glory hole that he's waking up with his dick in all sorts of things when he's sleepwalking. You know,
It's in the toaster.
or whatever toaster. Who knows?
Like, what do you do when you have like family and company
No.
over? Like, how do you disguise that?
There's little drapes you can put over it,
Yeah.
little curtains.
Maybe to mix it up, he uses like a different dick disguise each time. So like make it look different.
I'm just trying to picture like how you would hide that. Like, say Christmas, yeah, relatives over for Christmas. What would you use that glory hole for? Like
You
a
keep the
mistletoe?
cutout part. You keep the cutout part, and you just stick it in. And
Well, that's where you stick your tree. You stick your
Yeah.
tree in the glory hole.
It's a reverse.
you decorate it. Is
Yeah.
what you do.
So the tree looks like a giant like pine tree limbo stick.
Yeah.
I just think there's something funny
That's-
about disguising a glory hole, the contractor concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
You get like Frank Lloyd Wright to design your glory hole. Or
you can
famous
even
architect.
even if you say it's a female contractor, you exaggerate the size of the hole
yeah.
so much. Like you just like, oh no, bigger. It needs to be bigger. That's just not going to work. Like
There has to be like a joke, like a home renovation show where it's like, you want us to install what? Like, just,
yeah.
you call something else. Like it's a wish hole or something stupid.
Yeah, the architect who was in the Fountainhead, so it's the glory hole of the Fountainhead.
It should even save money because it's less material. Like so, you're like cutting holes out. So like, what do you need it for?
You
I
get,
just
you
like
get
that-
like a tax credit for it.
Yeah. If you have a certain amount of glory holes in your home, you just get a grant.
Like, how would you say it? Like, how would you ask them? But like, okay, how would you
Looks
tell?
like Swiss cheese. Oh, sorry.
It's okay. How would you tell a contractor? Like, 'cause I feel like this is something. If I was going to install a glory hole in my house, I wouldn't say it bluntly. I would say it like very
I
subtly.
would need,
like,
we
if I have a
we need
wall with
access
a-
to pass something through the wall. Like,
yeah, like I just want something
I-
like small enough to put through like a toilet paper roll. or
yeah.
something.
If you're running out of toilet paper and you don't want to open the door, you just fit it through the hole.
Yeah. Like a tube system in a way.
Yeah.
I have
Like,
ideas.
like
I
a
really do.
Guinness can, you like have to push a Guinness can through.
You ever want a beer on the toilet? Like you just
Yeah.
you get it delivered to the hole. I'm gonna have a beer delivery system into my bathroom.
Pimp your wall. All right.
I was just thinking of in your house right now that could be like already adapted to glory holes, like a letter slot in the front door, that sort of thing, or like a pet door or something like that. Or like I run a front loading wash machine. I don't know why I wrote that down, but it's just funny. That's glory hole. I just just getting ridiculous on stupid
Yeah.
things.
I'm
Just
really
like
thinking
glory
about-
holes, like the place looks like Swiss cheese,
Yeah.
but yeah. But he's got the same expression on his face when he's
Why
in
are all
glory.
these different sizes?
Yeah, the
If you
different
think-
sizes. Comes in
if you
different
think-
sizes.
If you think about it, like every door is pretty much a glory hole. It just filled up.
Yeah.
Just the moment you remove that fucking handle, you got a glory hole.
You got to
There'll be
knock
Every
that
door is
knob
a
off.
glory hole.
Would be a funny
Different-
concept actually too if you kind of arrange it a bit where you come home and discover your husband has put a glory hole in, and you send him like, hey, look, honey, I put a glory hole in. And you're like, what the fuck is that? Just us living here. Like, what are you doing?
It's connected to the next apartment though.
Okay.
You know
I
that's
think-
the neighbor's bedroom there, right? Yeah.
All
That's
right.
why I put it there.
I think we read like a good 10 minutes, probably 15 on glory hole. So let's, Brenda, good stuff. Great job with the ideas. Everybody, again, a lot's long in a while. But let's get this glory hole back to. I'm gonna correlate every freaking introduction to the last show. So let's get this glory hole cranking. I'm so sorry, Timothy.
I mean, I've heard worse. So
No, it sounds like a challenge.
It's one of his plugs. He could plug
Yeah.
it.
All right. Speaking of glory holes, this next, if I was in a foxhole with this next column, I'm sure he protected me. He looks like the type. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the best I can think of. Give it up again from Montana, Timothy Miller.
Yeah, hi everybody. You know what phrase I fucking hate? The phrase time theft. I feel like it's the worst thing invented by capitalism since like the Furby, which is like my sixth biggest fear after drowning, intimacy, avocados, commitment, and a spider shark hybrid attacking my mom while clown watches. Yeah. It just sounds like a bad time theft. Just sounds like a bad concept for like maybe like the third National Treasure movie. Like it just sounds like Nicolas Cage leading a person like to steal Big Ben. Yeah, it just sounds like a Nicolas Cage Big Ben heist movie. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've committed so-called time theft at like pretty much every job I've ever had, even when I worked for my family at our hot dog stand, which my dad lost to my mom in the divorce. It's fine. Even ran the candy division for a while for our hot dog stand, so that's where. Yeah, now I'm doing this. So yeah. My model at work is always I get paid by the time, not the effort. So, and I actually got in trouble for reading a book at work the other day when I guess I should have been productive. I don't know. I just figured if I'm going to waste like 8 hours a day, I might as well get something out of it. You know, I guess I get money, but I feel like I'm just waiting around for when we realize money is just like a collective trick. No, I'm sorry, illusion that clap and I just like, yeah, just realize it's illusion and send the billionaires directly into the sun because at least they'll get their wish of going into space. So yeah, work is getting my quality, not my quantity of time. When I got in trouble for I should have asked my boss if she wanted to join my book club, but I didn't think about it at the time. And now it's more like a fight club in that I just pick fights with customers just to pass the time. So so the other day I accidentally used the word, I went to say occasionally and I said caucasianally the other day. Which seemed very appropriate. I don't know if you can tell I'm very white. Like I feel like I should just start using caucasianally. Like caucasianally, I'll go down to Starbucks and get myself a decaf caramel macchiato, or caucasianally, I'll get a big truck to overcompensate for my inchworm penis. Or caucasianally, I'll discover land and steal it from its original inhabitants. Yeah, caucasianally. That's all I had for that. Thanks, guys.
Oh, caucasianally is the funniest word.
Caramel cockerama.
Yeah.
You don't look like you're occasionally Caucasian. You look like you're constant
like
Caucasian.
Overtime Caucasian.
Yeah. You're over Caucasian. Occasionally. Yeah, that's good.
Oh man, okay. So first of all, I want to get the interpretation of what time theft, what you meant by that, because to me, I don't know what, like, is that what time theft is? Because I wrote down some things, like, for example, it sounds like the worst heist movie, like Ocean's 12 past 10. I put down that's tough. Children are the biggest time thieves because you waste your time raising them. It's the other time. And then I put down, like, this one's not even a joke. It's like, is that like when you're like, is time theft when you're like at work and you're not working but you're like getting paid for it? Like, is that what?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's someone, because I was thinking of like a time theft, like, is that a person who goes to like hardware stores and steals clocks? So this is my favorite thing I wrote down. Was like, you said you get to fight with customers. Like, I get fights with the customers to pass the time. Each round is about 3 minutes.
Time theft, like when you zone out, just zone out. Just time theft.
Sitting on the toilet a bit longer than you have to.
Yeah, when I like time zone out.
Time zone out.
Wake up in other time zones.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty funny too, that concept. I like their hot dog stand, Dad. You were talking about your dad got the hot dog stand in the divorce or something. Is that what you said? Yeah.
No, he lost it. My mom got it in the divorce.
Oh, it'd be so much better if he was divorced and homeless with a hot dog stand. I thought it was,
That's like a TV show, man. That's a sitcom.
I just
Like
picture him
he's-
like brushing his teeth with the hot dog water.
taking a shower in the hot dog. Yeah.
I'm just picturing like if it was like if his mom got like half of the hot dog stand, he just it's now just like a weenie stand. It's something fucking. It was like
It used to be hot dog. Now it's a
Yeah.
weenie stand. Weenie stand.
because like it's half of I don't know, just a divorce joke there, I'm sure.
I also wrote down when you're talking about being Caucasian, whatever was it? You're so Caucasian, your cock's Asian. I don't know why I just made me laugh, but the dumb pun. I like stuff like that. So I don't know.
Any more any more feedback for Tim? Okay.
Good job, Tim.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
Excellent. If I seem a little bit tired, it's because I am. my eyes are stealing time. All right, everybody. The next comic. Good job again, Tim, and feedback, everybody. Our next comedian. I'm going to salvage the last introduction. What was it? Glory holes, clocks. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, your next comedian. If he had a time machine, he would probably use it for something productive to benefit him or someone he cares about. It's an original introduction, Jay. What do you want?
I'll tell you. Well, there's one thing for certain. Scott doesn't know me. There's no way I'm going back to do anything good.
Fair enough. Well, let's keep the show ticking.
There you go.
Once again, from Vancouver,
awesome.
JR.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so I guess we're just running through our own bits here. Is that the deal? And then, well, okay, cool. So I guess I have a running topic here of a new set I'm running. It's pretty much the topic is suicide. But I'm trying to make it funny. But first, I'll mention you don't know shame. Like honestly, nobody knows shame unless you've been this fat, and then you're standing and waiting for an elevator, and then the door opens, and then there's a crowd on there, and they're just looking at you, and then you look back at them. And then they look up at the weight capacity, and then back at you, and then you look down at the floor, and then back at them, and you realize they're still looking at you because your stomach is stopping the door from closing. So you back up, and they're still looking at you as the door slowly closes, and then you just go kill yourself. That's shame. Also though, but honestly, like there's life can be depressing, but there's benefits. Well, I know being this big and fat, sometimes there's a lot of negatives. Obviously, like earlier I dropped my phone and I just contemplated buying a new one instead of bending over to pick it up. So I get that. But there's a lot of positives to being this big too, because as a growing up, I suffered from obviously some mental disorder and stuff and some thoughts, but being fat has saved my life on many occasions. And I want to talk about those things because nobody talks about the positives of being fat. But one of them is amazingly, it saved my life in many ways, such as there's not a beam in my basement that will hold my swinging body. The last time I tried to hang myself, I broke my ankle. From falling on it. That was a weird conversation at the hospital. The doc's like, "Hey, how'd you break your ankle?" I said, I'm depressed and I tried to kill myself. And he just looked at me like I don't know what I'm doing and how I'm he said there's better ways. Other than that, I can't get my leg over the bridge railing near me, jump off. So that's a good one. This is saving my life. But also I tried to do the toaster in the bathtub thing too. But when it comes to me in bathtubs, only one thing can be in at a time, and that's me or the water. It just doesn't work. So now it's just like a pic of my legs in a bathtub, like on Instagram from all the women, but now there's a toaster on my knee. It's just sitting there. But hey, now I have toast and Nutella, so I'm happy. It's okay. Laugh at it. I also like, so if you ever actually see me at a gym and losing weight or on a diet, just be concerned then. That's when you know I'm working towards something. um, what else? Sorry, after that I have finding oh sorry fuck, oh man, I messed it up. Being alone sometimes it's pretty it's very depressing as well, and but society has a way to shove that loneliness back in your face and keep reminding you, and when I'm talking about HOV lanes, like to me, like it's like society's way of saying, hey Jay, you know how you're lonely? Yeah, just sit in traffic and think about that longer now, while people with friends and loved ones are just whizzing by you in the lane to your right. And I'll end with this last joke. I added a new tag to it recently, so I'll say it. I come from a pretty large family, like Keller himself. I'm the youngest of 8 in my family, and by the time, and there's 10 years difference between me and the second youngest. So by the time I was born, actually half my siblings were already moved out and had their own families. I was an uncle the day I was born. Do you know how hard it is to molest a nephew older than you? It's not impossible. Where there's a will, there's a way, and I weigh much more than my nephew will. So
There's
thank you guys.
Oh,
I thought it was a segue for between elevator and suicide. Just say, when you're waiting for the elevator, I'd rather just jump out the window. It's faster than waiting for an elevator.
But I need to go up.
Yeah.
I don't float. Yeah. No, that's great. Yeah, that's good too. Thank you.
Oh man, I really love molesting someone older than you.
Yeah.
That's great. No feedback suggestions or no tags for that, because that's great.
Yeah, that's the one I added. So I just added that where there's a will, there's a way, and I weigh
Right.
much more than my nephew will. I used to just end it on, do you know how hard it is to molest a nephew? And
Yeah.
then I added the tag.
Like you can totally tag that, but like as is, that's a solid joke.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah. I wrote 2 jokes. One's like, I'm not like, I don't want to. I wrote a fat joke, but like it's up to your comfort, of course.
Yes, don't.
So I put down. I used to be bigger, but I lost enough weight to fit on one Zoom show.
I love it. That's great.
And then this was more of a misdirect. It's not like I did the toaster in the bathtub thing, but all it did was just make the bread soggy. So it's like not as dark as you know what I mean? Like it's still,
I love that.
Because it kind of like touches on you eating, and then but you're not saying, like I said, it's the subtleties of it.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, thank you.
For sure. And that's all I could think of. But yeah,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I
Scott.
appreciate the dark humor. So
yeah, I got a bunch of it.
Well, likewise, but it's hard to like, because
it's hard. That's why
you want to get the sympathy, you want to get the laughs, and it's so hard. Like you have to have that balance of like really good jokes for them to be comfortable with laughing. So I totally understand it's
I've had the suicide stuff really work. I like in a full room.
Well, you're still alive, so that's probably
well, that's what I tell them too. So there's a bit of a tag. It's like, if they're not laughing too hard, I'm like, guys, laugh, or these are just jokes. So you don't want it to be reality. And I just throw that, and then it kind of gets them back on the train a bit, or the boat, whatever you want
to. If people laugh at like you said, it's the end of your set that you do the molestation joke and it gets a laugh. And then if they laugh, you could be like, shame on you, because you were talking earlier about shame being a big part of, just wanting to, big part of like your weight, you're saying.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like that could be a good joke to gauge your audience, to see how far you can go.
That's what I was wondering too, because I do use it as a closer right now.
I feel like if you want to work on new stuff, like darker stuff, or not dark, but like more honest or to use stuff, I would say try that in the middle, and then go for that, like just to gauge your audience. Because sometimes, because I wrote some stuff, and I know, like, I'm not tooting my own horn, but I know it's really well written, but it's fucking dark. Right. The audience not into it. It's like a 5
You have
minutes.
to
and it's
judge it by, you have to
disruptive.
gauge it by the rooms.
Yeah,
guess,
exactly. So I
as
feel,
well
I feel like
before
that
the show.
that one joke with the molestation is a good gauge of
Yeah,
where your audience is,
yeah.
and then just go to the next, and then go something a little darker, and like kind of like just
Yeah.
see where you're at.
I like that. That's a good idea. The reason I'm using it at the end currently is because my other quick ending tag on it is, do you know how hard it is unless I feel older than you? And then I just say, it's hard, rock hard. Okay, guys, good night. And I just walk off the stage. I say rock hard and I walk off the stage, and that's your host, Justin Nicoletta or whatever, and I just walk off. So that worked and was very funny too. But so I'm not sure what to go with there. But I like, if I put it in the middle, obviously I wouldn't use that one.
Right. Well, no, you like totally like close on it, but like if you're going to try new stuff that's a bit more, I'll say raw or dark or whatever, I
Yeah.
would use that or jokes like that to gauge what you can
Right.
do.
No, perfect. I totally get that. Yeah,
That's,
that's great.
I do a flip chart thing about my visit to the psych ward, and it's just my vacation pictures and it's stickmen. And it took me a while to figure out where to put it in my act. And so I usually do it at the end because it's like conversation, like the intimacy builds, you know. So I do it at the end, but sometimes I'll do it right at the beginning. Like I'll just go on stage and demand their
Right.
attention and do it.
Right.
But yeah, I think your jokes are hilarious, Jay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, it is. So that's been a struggle too, trying to figure out how do you break into that suicide stuff? Like, what's the lead up? I wrote the elevator one like 2 days ago, and I tried it on stage last night for the first time. It went very well. But like that kind of leads into it, at least with just some self-deprecating stuff. But I also have other deprecating stuff that kind of leads up to, like, I want them to understand, okay, like this, it's hard. You can't just go up and just be like suicide. And then
Right. No. And I'm not gonna interrupt. Right. There's one thing I learned. At least, okay, I'm not anybody. I'm just my experience.
no, dude, I'm here to go.
When you only have 5 minutes, it's fucking hard to do.
Yes.
You practically
Yes.
can't. Because
Yeah.
5 minute sets are pretty much just like your ADD jokes, where it's like one topic, one topic, one topic, one topic, because it's hard to do one unless you're like really well crafted, polished, like themed set that does well. It's hard to like, but when you have 10 or 15, you know what I mean? You can kind of like poke here and there. You have to get an audience's trust. Like one thing I learned, I look like I don't know. I use it in wrestling terms, but I got like a baby face thing going on. I'm very fucking like innocent nerdy, right? So when I'm talking about like prostitution, sex, depression, it throws people off.
Right.
So you have to get their trust, and then like, I'm still fucking learning how to do it. You get their trust, and you kind of just slowly, you know what I mean? You weave them in, like even if you have to be a bit of an asshole to get them to not feel bad for you. Not like be an asshole, but like just make fun of yourself and somebody else. You know what I mean? Like just kind of, it's a hard fucking balance to find, but with more honest material like depression, suicide, addiction, and all that, you can't do it in 5. You have to like, it's kind of like a one-man show type of situation.
If you have like, if it's an edgy joke, dark joke, if you can silly it up a little bit, then they'll digest it easier, you know?
Well, the soggy toast thing.
That's a great mix for a dark concept with a goofy ending of it.
And also, when I say I can't get my leg over the bridge railing, I use the stool on stage. It's more of an action.
Right.
And that works too, because they're seeing me physically trying to get my leg over a stool.
I feel like you can kind of like, sorry I'm interrupting, but like
it's okay.
you can do that, maybe like do a bridge joke, but like work your way up to it, like sort of like a curb. You know what I mean? Like just kind of like, I'm practicing on curbs right now, but one day, you know what I mean? Just something silly. I don't know. Just
maybe you could do a bunch of real quick jokes with this saying this happiest right before you commit suicide, and that's when you start giving things away, like that information, and then you could just like start talking about like silly things that make you that how you're behaving, and silly examples of how you're behaving.
Right.
Just list them.
Yeah. Thank you. No, absolutely.
Actually, I can answer that suicide stuff too, if you don't mind.
Yeah, for sure.
When Scott said the toaster in the bathtub sort of thing, I did think about, because I used to be much bigger, of course, you know that, JR. I was 100 pounds heavier. But so I kind of sympathize. But I was just thinking about trying to fit a toaster into the bathtub when I was in it. I mean, there's no room, there's no water in there, right?
Right. And that's the thing too. I can't even get water in there when I'm in there.
Yeah. The other joke I had was you thought about slitting your wrist, but all you had was a butter knife and it just slid around because there's still butter on it. I just thought that was a funny kind of super fat joke. But yeah.
I feel like you could tie that back into the toast with like maybe a Nutella still on it or something.
Yes. Now I just used it, or it still had Nutella on it or something. I could say that, and have it after, depending where I want to put it.
Yeah.
That's funny. I like the butter knife.
And your nephew molested you joke there when it would be sorry. I wrote down your nephew molested you because he's older than you, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I also thought about. I always thought it was funny
good.
too, like he's holding you down, making you say uncle too.
So there's funniness and like there's so much to that, because growing up it was obviously very weird because we would hang out and people, our friends would be like, that's your uncle? He's younger than you. It was a weird thing. And then them calling me uncle in person and stuff. And I was like, oh, fuck off. I'm younger than, like, I was in their same class sometimes. It brought on a lot of strange situations and shit for sure.
That's unique,
I stole my nephew's girlfriend actually from him when we were in high school. It was fucking, so there's probably even more there's a lifetime of stories, whatever. But yeah, it leads to a lot of interesting situations.
It's such a unique concept that not many people have. So use that.
Well, I feel like you molested him as a kid, so you fucked him over as a kid, and then you fucked him over again by stealing his girlfriend in high school.
I stole his virginity and his girlfriend.
Yeah, there you
go. Oh Jesus, that's just horrible.
I stole his virginity. That was the name of his girlfriend.
I stole his virginity and Virginia.
Yeah.
What joke that leads into your topic of suicide?
So I start off with, I have a dating thing. I do a lot of crowd work. I love interacting, and I'm very boisterous.
That's a good skill.
So immediately when I get up there, I make connections, and I start with a dating thing. Who's dating? You guys are all beautiful. Who's dating? And then I have a dating whole bit. But the whole thing about the dating bit too is it's self-deprecating stuff. Like, I don't know, I'm not going to go into my whole opening now. You guys heard me said I did what I did. I kind of just started with suicide, but there is a 3-minute opener before that goes into the dating sites. And then I talk about, why aren't you all swiping on me? I recognize all your faces. Like I see you all. It gets a big laugh. I'm like, I have a huge net out there from 5,000 kilometers to 19 to 66 years old, right? And I know you're all dating and you're just not answering me. Like a lot of them will be like, we're not dating. And then I have a thing where I talk about I have to buy sex, and I use, but I'm not a bisexual, but so it goes into that. And then and then it kind of just flows in. And then I do this elevator thing, but I only wrote that a couple of days ago. But I think the elevator thing would fit nicely just before the suicide.
I like a lot. Yeah, I like the elevator thing.
Yeah, so that's why
the visual of it made me laugh, because you didn't have to say it. Just like when you said that full stop, and like everybody knew. Those are the best jokes when you don't have to say it and they can just.
Dude, I did it on stage last night for the first time, and my actions is what sold it. It was they looked up. They looked back at me. I looked down. Like we all knew. They knew what I was thinking anyway.
Is it? If I may, add a suggestion. Is it possible you can do a sigh?
Yeah, of course.
I feel like I was exasperated by like that.
They look back at me.
Yeah, like just that.
I look down, back at them.
Then all you see is this. Close the door.
Then I see 3 fingers going towards the closed door.
Like slowly. Just do it dramatically, like just like slow motion, like smiling at you and like.
But then it's revealed it's actually like poking your tummy to get it out of the.
They're trying to push. They're actually trying to push me back because I'm blocking the door from closing.
Yeah,
that's amazing. My stomach.
Yeah. The other thing too you could say too, Jay, is they all looked at you like, are you sure you don't want to take the stairs?
Yeah. Yeah.
Exercise in here, sort of thing, right?
Or what about saying, you know, it's faster than waiting for the elevator, jumping out a window. And then you could kind of go into your suicide stuff.
Yeah, that's a
I feel
good
like you fall out of
segue.
window where you jump out of window.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm trying to write these down as quickly. Like those tags are great. The finger pointing thing, I'm definitely going with
Well, this is
that.
recorded too, I think. I think you can watch it after. in case you
Okay,
need to-
yeah, that would be wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great feedback, everybody. I'm not trying to like
Yeah,
kill
that
the
was
momentum,
great.
but it was a lot of, but we gotta get the show
Yes.
because I have to
Thank
work
you
tomorrow
all.
morning.
Yeah.
Keller, I'm not forgetting you. Don't worry. I got this. Let me get the right intro. Good job again, Jay. A lot of good
Thank
stuff.
you.
Feedback
Thank you,
wise.
everybody.
Yeah, for sure. And ladies and gentlemen, to cap off the night, the resurger of the comedy workshop. Ladies and gentlemen, he may not be driving be in a bus that's going 60 miles an hour because it's going to blow up if it goes below it, but he is not related to Keanu. His name is Keller Reeves.
Yeah.
Shit intro.
Man, it's easier that way to spell my name to people. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna keep this kind of short, I guess, because I'm tired too, and I gotta get home soon. I'm stuck out here at work. Okay, so maybe I should just start with a couple things. I'm a dual citizen, everybody, but I'm so old I've actually dueled other citizens.
Oh, God.
I know it's dumb. Yeah, but no, I'm a first generation Canadian, and my family's all from the States. Like we emigrated here in 1624. Actually, that's how when my family first came over to the United States here. And I did my genealogy, and one thing I found out about it was really interesting. That I come from a big line of bums. Just they're all bums, just one after another. All the generations, they're nothings the whole way through. Just hoping to do better with their lives, and hey, just keep the streak going alive. You know what I mean? Just gotta keep my genes failing. So that's the way it is. But yeah, I did look at some things. It was kind of funny. I've been really researching over there, and one thing that was interesting to me is I found out that in 1624 when they came over, from England and everything, the accent was much different. And I found out the accent was the English accent used to be the like the Boston accent, which is kind of interesting. Used to be that way, and it's which made me laugh because I started doing dates there. That made me think like Shakespeare was done in like a Boston accent, which cracks me up. Like I just picture him down there like at the George where he was, and he goes down there to order a beer, and he's sitting there, he's sitting with his buddies, and they're like, oh look, old Billy Shakespeare is here. Hey, Bill, what's going on? What do you want? He goes, well, to beer or not to beer? That's the real question. Hey, look at this guy, fucking to beer or not to beer. Who the fuck you think is? Buy us a beer. Will you fucking play? I picture the whole concept goofy. And yeah, that's the one thing I want to try out. I got more to that stuff, but I think I'm going to end it right there for now to keep this thing sprite and peaceful and quick. So yeah, thanks guys. Appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Keller and Reeves, short and sweet, and so is this comedy.
Like my dad.
Ooh,
Right?
I don't know. Maybe you're short. I don't know. I'm just trying to flirt.
He's in portrait mode. It looks a lot shorter than
It's
you.
all about the love here, everybody. It's all about the love. Okay, so I recently my family came here in 1624. I'm like, fucking, how old are you? I'm just being a smart ass. I love the idea of like your genealogy going. My family are all bums. I'm like, and I'm just picturing like from barrel to barrel to like just generations of Kellers gathered in a fucking barrel, and then the barrel like gets more involved. I don't know, this weird thing.
Like your family crest is just like a picture of like a handkerchief.
Like a hobo, like a stick in a fucking bag.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a family crest. He has a family crest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I wrote when you're talking about Shakespeare in Boston, I was like, "Hey, Bill, I just got a number. How do you like them apples?" It's always Matt Damon when I think of Boston. That's all I can think of. Good stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like you could play on like Shakespeare like play titles versus like maybe like Boston landmarks or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it was actually, I got a little more in on that, of course, like, because my phone, I couldn't write down the stuff I want to say in material, but I did want to say that joke in that order because it used to be the opposite. I used to do the Spartacus joke in a Boston. I still do it, but I swapped them so the Spartacus is version's next. I didn't get into it because I've done it a couple times here, but yeah, I wanted to see how it worked with that Billy Shakespeare stuff. There is a couple more things I just forgot to write down and figure out, but yeah, it is a funny concept of just, that's the way they spoke back then with a Boston accent. It just cracked me up. So
I kind of want to see I want to see you do a one man, like, or somebody do a one man show of Shakespeare in Boston accents.
yeah, I do too, actually. Yeah.
And euphemisms too.
Yeah. It's pretty funny with that thought pattern, the Shakespeare that way, because that is the true thing. It's funny with that that's how the accent was back in the 1600s, was the Boston accent in England. But yeah,
I got you a tea party right here. I got you.
Yeah.
Get in the cage.
The Montagues and the Capulets.
I'd like to do a whole scene in a Boston accent. I just think it'd be funny.
Yeah.
Just to get out there and do a scene for something.
There's room for that. Yep, I'd love to see that.
It'll eventually figure something out.
I'd love to see that. Make a friend show up or something. I don't know.
I love Billy Shakespeare. That's just brilliant.
Yeah.
I do throw that in say this time, but I always like the Macbeth version of like fair is foul and foul is fair. Like fair is foul and foul is fair. It just it's hilarious to me. It's just so funny to me. Yeah, going back and forth. Yeah.
I have it's not so much like accents, but I have this joke I use. I mean, I haven't done it forever, but like it's in my arsenal about like Shakespeare your mama jokes and how that would sound like. Because like the whole concept of the bit is like, you know, I miss like, because the whole I talk about how like I don't mind being insulted, but I want it to be clever. Like I love intelligence to like insults, right? And like you know, the Victorian days, like Shakespeare, like your mama jokes then I would love to live in. Like, yeah, that mother is so overbearing and imbecile. She thought Hamlet was a recipe. Oh, that mother is so wide that she is a Montague and a Capulet. Oh,
yeah,
I
that's
can't do
hilarious.
the accents though. No, but like accents are always awesome. I can't do accents. I can do weird, bad, horrible impressions, but that's it.
Yeah, you know, I found out I did this on stage recently by accident, but I realized that if you figure out how to say fuck the way they would, like the word fuck, you can say the accent almost like a Boston accent's F-E-C-K, like fuck. Look at this fucking guy. You know, and you just start finding out how to say swear words in their accent, and also you can just do the words. I've been doing this.
Like it's New Yorkie.
Yeah.
There's a guy over here. Check this guy over here with his fucking hat over here. Look, that's all. That's the best I got. I don't know what that was.
Yeah, it's a funny concept. But yeah, we'll figure it out one of these days.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Anybody else for some feeds for Keller?
I really just wanted to flesh out the Bill Shakespeare. Like, I want to see a whole scene kind of thing, and so many tags. It seems like there's so many tags that are things that can form out of that.
Yeah.
Besides the to be or not to be, like there's more. Like there's even more to keep going.
Yeah, I got fearful because I got this Spartacus joke that really started the whole thing with the like Spartacus in a Boston accent, which I think is hilarious to me. But how to get to that spot to tell it, I've been trying to work around with this Bill Shakespeare thing. It used to be after that, but I found that it was too much of a Boston accent. I was just doing it too long. So like when you start doing a scene, unless it's like a full scene, it's kind of like I agree with you. I just haven't figured it out yet. So which will take some time for it. But yeah, because but I do like that idea of doing a whole scene or something. Yeah. Just can't seem to find the I guess the balancing act with it, if that makes sense. Yeah.
I feel like Julius Caesar, like the play that he did, would be a good connection between like Shakespeare and Spartacus.
Yeah.
If you could find a way. Maybe
also like Scott mentioned, something about Matt Damon and Good Will Hunting says Boston so much. So if at any time, like if you're comparing, like you do William Shakespeare and Matt Damon or whatever, like compare it, like they could go at it. But adding, like you call that, you know, how do you like this?
Yeah, it's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Because I think a lot of people would get that and associate that too. Definitely.
I do like the idea, Tim, that Julius Caesar, because you can say that that ER is fun to say in the Boston accent. So it's like Caesar. Yeah, Julius Caesar.
Yeah.
Fucking Julius Caesar over here. Yeah, it's just it's
Get a
easy to
look at
say.
Caesar.
Yeah.
Like this toga over here, like this guy over here with this toga, like it's Julius fucking Caesar.
Yeah.
Fucking toga. Yeah.
Fucking Caesar.
Wearing his fucking bed sheets over his fucking
Yeah.
Fucking Julius Caesar.
There's a fucking leaf on his head.
Like, who does he think he is? That fucking.
This was a very fun workshop, folks. I had to wrap it up. I'm falling asleep, but before we do, we are going to do some shameless self-promoting as is tradition. When I host, I'm not. Everybody has their own ways, but for me, I like to do shameless self-promoting. So with that being said, Timothy Miller, if you have any outlets in your room, what do you like to plug?
I have a podcast called It's the End of the Show as We Know It. We talk about like series finales of TV shows. And we have a New Year special coming out just in time for Valentine's Day. So
Nice.
That's awesome.
JR, I'm not sure how your sync is. Hopefully it's not plugged.
I want to plug a glory hole is what I want to plug. On a boat so it doesn't sink. Glory holes on boats. There you go. How did we miss that? Like, don't put it on the bottom, you fuck.
Did they have one on the Titanic? Is that why it sank?
Yeah. Is this Scott trying to draw pictures of his parents on the Titanic? His mom's name's Rose. Oh my god, it makes so much sense.
Stick figures.
Yeah. Sorry, I know you're trying to wrap this up. So if you if you see the way my name's spelled, JRJAYR, you can search that on all social media, such as Instagram, YouTube. I have a YouTube gaming channel, JR SideQuest, plus all other platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tinder, whatever. It's JR. Find me there.
Awesome. Great. And this is where I'm going to stretch here. And Brenda was talking about, she had a joke mentioning anal, I think, earlier, which could involve butt plugs. So.
My butt plug is
sorry.
My butt plug is I'm Brenda Lenny. I'm on YouTube, and I'd like to just do a shout out to the Judge, to Comedy at the Judge. They'll be back and running. I think they'll be back and running in a couple of weeks. Sunday night. Yeah. So go Judge.
Awesome. And Keller might be wearing a hat, so you can't see if he's wearing any hair plugs.
Then I got we got another show on Wednesday, so that's another workshop. I think I'm gonna do another one Monday, but my work is starting to pick up, so I think we may stop season 2 for a short time and then come back with season 3 again. We'll see how it goes. So that's still up in the week. We'll see how it goes. I doubt anybody's gonna be watching this to the very end, so everybody's clicked off now. But for me, I got a show in a week. I was told not to say anything because it's a special show, and but I don't really have anything else. I got a week off in February. Hey, do you want to book me somewhere, everybody? And nobody watching? I will travel.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll ride together. Me and Keller will ride together.
Yeah, he needs a ride. That's what he's saying. He needs a ride. So.
Welcome to Hamilton, Montana.
I just want to say that I love how like a year and a half, give or take, is one season, and like 7 episodes, 2 seasons.
I had a feeling like this one would be the finale. I had a feeling.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I might still keep it going. We're gonna keep trying. It just we'll stay tuned.
Yeah,
how's that sound?
Awesome. That sounds great. And I may not own a pet, but if I do, I hope it be a pug. This is hard being. It's hard to be creative, guys. Anyways, thanks for cooperating. I'm hoping to book a tour, or I don't call it a tour. I want to call it a run, for me and the character that I do, in Saskatchewan and Alberta, in May. And I'm also on social media under Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Scott Porteous, and I'm thinking about jokingly starting a GoFundMe, just to find sponsors for dumb reasons. Just because, why not?
It could work.
Yeah. It could work, and I'm afraid it will. I'm afraid there's people who are like, needing a kidney and shit, and I'm getting like more money than them for stupid reasons, and that scares me because I always feel so bad. But I would still take it. But still, I just feel bad. So yeah, I don't know. These are just ideas I have. Who knows? I talk a lot of stuff. I made a lot of promises. Like I'll have a place of my own when I'm 35, and clearly that's not happening. So I talk a lot of shit. With that being said, everybody, thanks for thanks Keller, for letting me host, and thank you all for being here. Timothy, Jay, and Brenda. I hope you had a great time. I know I did. I'm just a little tired, but holy crap, you guys a lot of good stuff. It was very funny. And I'm gonna be calling it a night. So thanks everybody for watching, all 7.5 of you. And yeah, keep your stick on your ice.
Keep your holes plugged.
Yeah, keep your holes plugged. Keep the stick on the ice. That's a Red Bean reference.
Swiss cheese, Swiss cheese.
Okay. And the word of the day, remember, is voters and glory holes. Good night.
Good